I thought I thought we would start with something that you are actually able to talk about today, and you mentioned a little bit, and I'm excited to hear more. So today is, or the day this podcast launches, is Thursday, the 7th of December. So
right.
what's going on? What's going on? Let me hear it.
There's going to be a lot of videos on YouTube. People are going to complain because there's too much, and now I'm part of that little select group of people coming out with a bunch of pedals. But I wanted to do it differently.
Okay.
So what we have today is this guy. So it's the Wampler Tumnus, but it's a germanium version. So I'm doing a video on this. Actually, I'm filming it today. We're Monday. So I'm filming that, and I'm also shooting it out against the Archer and the original Tumnus. So I'm going to have basically 3 videos. So there's going to be the main video and these two. And if it's possible, if we can, we're going to link it in this podcast. So anyone that's interested can go and watch it. But basically, they sent this out to me without any notice or information. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And Richard from Wampler was like, hey, we got something new. Are you interested? I was like, sure. He's like, okay, I'm going to send it in the mail, but I had no clue what it was. And it takes so long for stuff to get to me that in the meantime, they reissued 2 pedals. I think it's the 2 Fender ones, the 57 and I think the 64 Tweed or something like that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I remember those, Long time that they released those, right?
Yeah, they released those like a long time ago, and they stopped making them. And then they re-released them because people were asking for a re-release. And I thought that's what they were sending me, but it was this guy. So when I saw Tumnus, I'm like, oh, that's an old product. Why are they sending this to me, right? I opened the box. I was like, ooh, it's a different Tumnus. So, and it is
a different one.
Yeah, it's different. So I did the comparison between the both of them. This one here seems to have way less gain and way less low end than the original Tumnus. And I'm not sure what they did, but they tweaked the circuit. So when you put them side by side, you know they're both going for the Klon thing, but this one here, it's different. And I think some people that don't like the Tumnus might prefer this one, and people that like the Tumnus might like to stack both of them because they stack like really, really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, germanium lets me think that they've used germanium diodes in this version while they used silicon diodes in the Tumnus, which does not necessarily explain the gain. So if you look at some of the classic overdrive or boost circuits, gain is sometimes determined by something very simple. Like if you look at the OCD from Full Tone, for example, it's a very classic overdrive. It has been around for a long time. If you wanted to tweak or like modify the OCD to have more gain, the only thing you would actually need to do is change the gain potentiometer with the higher value, because the potentiometer is directly connected with the op amp that's necessary to create distortion or to create the overdrive. And if you use a higher value, let's say you double the value, obviously you'll get more gain out of it.
Okay.
So gain does not always have to do with like changing diodes, but the original Klon has germanium diodes as well. So it would be closer to the original in a sense, I would assume, where germanium diodes definitely start to clip a little bit earlier, which would also account why there's a little bit like less low end, but it might be a little bit more mid forward. Possible.
Yeah, it's I'm probably going to get to hear it more once I start to edit the video, because the way I splice up my videos, and I'm going to take the one with, let's say, the original Tumnus and the one with the new Tumnus, and I put them like one over top of the other, and then I start to cut them, and I go A, B throughout the whole thing. So as you're listening to one performance, you get to hear them within the same performance, like both pedals.
Okay.
And that's usually what It's usually the thing that helps you hear the nuances between pedals, because sometimes if you play one and then there's like 2-second gap between the both of them, you just lost your reference point. So the way I do it is I stack both of them together so they're perfectly aligned. I make sure that they have the same volume. Then I splice them up, and as you're listening, you get to see the pedal change like this. If there's any difference, you're going to hear it. If there's no difference, you hear it because it's within the same playthrough. And that's usually where I can hear it, because when I just listen back to back, to me, they both pretty much sound the same. So that's why I kind of do these videos. It really does help hear any nuance or anything that's different. Sometimes I make videos and people say, I just don't hear the difference. To me, they sound exactly the same. And that's why I kind of do this. So yeah, I'm actually curious to see what Brian Wampler is going to do, because usually like he'll make a video and he usually makes the best video on this pedal, because you know, there's a bunch of us trying to, you know, make it look good, and then he comes out and goes, okay, this is what I did, this is what's different, and blah blah blah. Here, listen to the difference. You're like, why am I competing with him? He builds the damn pedals, you know. I can't make it sound as good as him. He knows what it's like. He built it, you know. But I still tried.